Okay. Chapter 18. The boy from District 1 dies before he can pull out the spear. My arrow drives completely into the career, not center, center of his neck. He falls to his knees and he leaves the brief remainder of his life by yanking out the arrow and drowning in his own blood. I reloaded, shifting my aim from the side to side while I shouted at Rue. Are there more, or are there more? She has to say no several times before I hear it. Ruled as rolled to her side. Her boy curved and round the spear. I shoved the boy away from her and pull my knife free her from the net. One look at the round, and I know it's far beyond my capability to heal, beyond everyone's popularity. The spearhead is burned up to the shave in her stomach. I crushed before her, starting helplessly at the embed weapon. There's no point in comparing the woods. And I'm telling, I'm telling her her she. She'll be all right. She's no fool. Her hand reaches out, and I clutch and like a lifetime has it. It's me who dined instead of Rule. You blew up the food, she whispers, every last bit. I say, you have to win, she says. I'm going to win for both of us. Now, I I promise. I hear I hear cannon and looked up. I must be for the boy from District 1. Don't go, ruled ruled Triton's her grip on my hand. Course, not saying right here. I say I move and closer to her, pulling her head onto my lap. I get into the bushes, the dark, thick hair behind her ear. Seeing, she says, but I barely catch the word. And seeing, I think, seeing what? I do know a few songs, believe it or not. There was um, once music in my house. To music, I helped make my father pulled me with that remarkable voice, but I haven't sung too much since he died, except when Pram is very sick. Then I sing her the same songs she liked as a baby. See, my throat is tight with tears, horses from smoke and fatigue. But if this is Prim's, I mean, rule last request. I have took a last try. The song that comes to me, simple. It's old and very old. I think made up long ago in our hills. What my music teacher calls a mountain in air, but the words are easy in shooting, su- shooting. Promising tomorrow will be hopeful than this awful place of time we call today. I give a small cough, swallow hard, and begin. Deep in the meadow under the window, the bed grass and a soft green pillow. Lay down your head and close your sleepy eyes, and when again they open, the sun will rise. Here it's safe, here it's warm, here the dizziness guard you from every harm. Here's your dreams are sweet, and tomorrow brings them true. Here is the place where I love you. Bull's eyes. I have flooded shut, her chest moves, but only singly my throat releases the tears and they slide down my cheeks, but I have to finish the song for her. Deep in the meadow something hidden far away, a clock of leaves, a moonbeam. Ray, forget your your rules, and let your troubles lay. And when again it's morning, they wash away. Hers it's safe, her it's warm, her the daisiness guard you from every harm. The final lines are bitterly hear your dreams are sweet, and tomorrow brings them true. Here is the place where I love you. Everything's still and quiet. Then, almost early in the mock jays take up my song. For a moment, I sit there watching my tears drip down on her face. Ruled cannon fires. I leaned forward and pressed my lips against her temple slowly, and if not to wake her, I lay her head back on the ground and release her hand. They want me to clear out now, so they can collect the bodies, and there's nothing to say for I roll the boy from District 1 onto his face and take his pack, retrieve the arrow that ended his life. I cut Rule's pack from her backpack, not backpack, back as well, knowing she wanted me to have it, but leave the spear in her stomach. Weapons and bodies will be transported to the hovercraft, and I've no use for a spear, so sooner it's gone from arena, the better. I can't stop looking at Rule smarter than ever. A baby animal curled up in the nest of netting. I can bring myself to leave. I'm busy. And and who was no, who, maybe sooner. So the sooner it's gone from the arena, the better I can stop looking at rules smaller than ever. The baby animal crewed up and then a nest of netting. I can't bring myself to leave her like this. This past no harm, but seeming easily defenseless. To hate the boy from District 1, who also appears so vulnerable, in the death seems inquired. It lets the capital I hate for doing this to all of us. Gale's voice is in my head, his ravings against the capital no longer pointless, no longer to be ignored. Rules death has forced me to comfort my own fury against the Curly and the injustice they inflict upon us. But here, even more strongly than at home, I feel my importance. Importance. There's no way to take revenge on the capital is here. Then I remember Peter's words on the roof. Only I keep wishing I could think of the way to show the capital. Keep wishing I could think of the way to show the capital. Keep they don't own me. That I'm not no am more than just a piece in their games, and for the first time I understand what he means. I want to do something right here, right now, to shame them, to make them accountable, to show the capital that whatever they do to or force us to do, there is a part of a library their games, and some a few steps into the woods grows in a blank of wildflowers. Perhaps they are really weeds of some short day, but they have blossoms and beautiful shades of violet and yellow and white. I gather up a armful and come back to Rule's side slowly, one stem at a time. I disperse her body in flowers, covering the ugly ground, weaving her face, weaving her hair, and with the bright colors. They have to show it, or even if they choose to turn the cameras else here at this moment, they have to bring them back. When they collect the bodies, and everyone will see her then and know I did it. I step back and take a last look at Rule. She could really be asleep at that meadow. After all, by Rule, I whisper. I press the three middle fingers of my left hand against my lips and hold them out in her direction. Then I walked away without looking back. The birds fall silent. Somewhere a mockingjay gives the warning whistle that precedes the hovercraft. I don't know how it knows. What? How it knows I must hear things that humans can't. I pause my eyes, focus on what ahead, not what's happening behind me. It doesn't take not long. Then the general bird song begins again, and I know she's gone. Another mockingjay, a young one, by the look it lands on the branch before me and bursts on Rule's melody. My song, the hovercraft, were too unfamiliar for this notice to pick up, but it has mastered her handful of notes, the ones that mean she's safe, good and safe. I said as I passed under its branch. Don't have to worry about her. Good now, good and safe. I have no idea where to go. The brief sense of home I had that one night with Rule has vanished. My feet wander this way and that until sunset. I'm not afraid, not even watchful, which makes me an easy target. Except I'd kill anyone I met on the site without where is it? Emotion or the silence, scientist something. Tim, Timur in my hands. I hatred of the Capel has not ended my hatred of my complaisance in the least, especially in careers. The careers, the the careers, they at least at least can be made for to pay for Rule's death. No one materializes the thought there are many but many of us left, and it's a big arena. Soon they be pulling out some other events to force us together, but there's been enough gore day today. Perhaps we'll even get to sleep. I'm about to haul my packs, into the tree to make camp when a silver protrudes floats down and lands in front of me and a gift from a sponsor. But why now? I've been fairly good shape with supplies. Maybe Hamish noticed my disappointment and is trying to cheer me up a bit, or could it be something to help my ear? I open the parachute and find a small loaf of bread. It's not fine. Why Capel stuff? I made it of the dark ration, grain and shaved and crisp, sprinkled with seed. I flash back to Peter's lesson on the various district breeds and the training center. This bread came from the District 11. Kulushi lived the still warm loaf. What must it have cost the people of District 11, who can even the food no feed themselves? How many would I would have had to do without this to scrape the coin to put in the collection for this one loaf? It has been meant for Roll secretly, but instead of pulling the griff when she died, they unto hunters, hey Mitch, to give it me to me as a thank you, or because like me, they don't like to let your birds to go, the birds go unpaid for whatever reason. Is this is a district gift to a tribute who's not your own. I lift my face and step into the left falling rays of sunlight. My thanks to people of District 11. I say, I want them to know. I know, I know where it came from. That the full value their gift, their, their gift, their gift has been recognized. I climb dangerous heights into the tree, not for safely, but to get as far away from today as as I can in my sleeping bag, now rolled nearly in Rule's pack. Tomorrow I sort through the supplies. Tomorrow I make the new plan. But tonight all I can do is strap myself in take tiny pieces of the bread, its good taste of home. Soon the seals in the sky, the anthem plays in my right ear. I see the boy from District 1. Rule, that's all for tonight. 6 of us left. I think only 6 with the bread still locked in my hands. I fall asleep once. Sometimes when things are particularly bad in my brain, with give me a happy dream. A visit with my father in the woods, an hour of sunlight and cake with Prim. Is tonight it sends me Rule, still decked in her flowers, perched in a high seat of trees, trying to teach me to talk to the mockingjays. I see no sign. Her rounds, no blood, just a bright laughing girl. She sings songs I never heard. A clear metallic voice on and on throughout the night. There's a densely in something. Hold on. In between period when I can hear the last few things of her music. Thought she lost in the leaves. When I fully take awaken, I mostly confirmed. I try to hold on to the peaceful feeling of the dream, but it quickly slips away, leaving me sadder and lonelier than after. Heaviness, it infuses my whole body as if there's liquid lead in my venous. I, and I lost the will to do the stripless text, to do anything but lie here, starting unblinkably thought the canopy of leaves. For several hours I remained motionless as usual. The thought of Prim's Agnes face as she watches me on the screen back home that breaks me from my lethargy. I give myself a series of simple commands to follow, like, now you have to sit up, Katniss. Now you have to drink water, Katniss. I act on the orders with slow robotic, not robotic motions. Now you have to sort the packings, Katniss rule pack holds my sleeping bag. Her nearly empty water skin and handful of nuts and roots. A bit of rabbit. Her water skin and a handful of nuts and roots. A bit of rabbit, her extra socks, and her slingshot. The boy from District 1 has several knives, two spearheads, a flashing, a small lever pound, a first aid kit, aid kit, a full bottle of water, and a pack pack of dried fruit. A pack of dried fruit of the he might have chosen it from him from to me. This is a sign of extreme unknowns. Why bother to carry food when you have such a bounty pack camp? When you will kill your enemy so quickly you'll be home before you're hungry. I can only hope the other careers traveled so lightly when it came to food, and now find themselves with nothing sparkling of which my own supply. It's no, it isn't running that low. I bet how quickly the food disappears. All I have left are beef. Now you have burnt Katniss. I tell myself I absolutely consolidate the surprise I want into my pack after I climb down the tree. I conceal the boy's knives and spearheads in a pile of rocks so that no one else can use them. I lost my spirit. What with all the wandering around I did yesterday, everything I try and head back in the general direction of the stream. I know, no, the stream. I know. I'm of course, here I discover a flock of groslings prepared in the trees and take our three before they snow. What hit him? I return to rule signal fire and start it up. Not caring about the Exiville, not Jacksonville, Exiville smoke. Where are you, Cato? I think as I roast the birds in rural roads. I'm waiting right here. Who knows where the careers are now? Either too far, too scared, too no, not scared, too reach me, or too sure this is a trick, or it's possible to scare of me. They know I have the bow and arrows, but have they put two and two together yet? Figure out. Think they think three. This but wouldn't be more likely to revenge Rule's death than I would from the same district. Now that he ever took any interest her and what about Foxface? Did she hang around to watch me blow up the supplies? No, when I caught her laughing in the ashes. That next morning, it was as someone had given her a lonely surprise. I doubt they think PETA has lit this signal fire. Cato sure he's as good is dead. I find myself wishing I could stand hold on stand hold on sure he is dead. I find myself wishing and I could tell Peter about the flowers. I put on rule that I now understand what he was trying to say on the roof. Perhaps if he wins the games, he'll see me on Victor's night when the replay of highlights on the games on a screen over the stage. When we did our interviews, the winner sits in the place of honor on the platform, surrounded by the support crew. But I told Rue I'd be there for both of us, and somehow that seems even more important than the vow I give Prim. I rethink. I stand a chance of doing it now. Winning, it's not just having. Let me see. When was holding Rule's hand, watching the life our no drain out of her. Now I am I am determined to avenge her to make her derby, making myself unforgettable. I overcook birds hopping. Someone will show up to about, but no one does. Maybe the other tributes are out there being the other another census, which would be fine ever since the Blues bloodbath. I I've been figured on screens more than I care. Inventory. I wrap up my food and go back to the stream to replenish my water, and gather some, but the heaviness from the morning drops back over me, and even though only early in the early evening, I climb the tree, settle in for a night. The night setting Rule spared my arrow piercing the boy's neck. I don't know why I shouldn't even care about the boy. Then I realized he was my first kill, along with other senses they report to help people place their bets. They contribute as a list of kills in a girl from District 4, 2 for dumping the nest on them. But the boy from District 1 was the first person I knew would die because of my actions. Numberless animals had lost their lives at my hands, but only one human. I hear Gale saying, how different can it be? Really amazing, similar in the exclusion. A bolt pulled and arrow shot in injury different in the aftermath. I killed a boy who whose name I didn't even know. Somewhere his family is weeping from him and his friends. called for my blood. Maybe he had a girlfriend who really believed he would come back, but I think of rule, the rule still body, and I've able to banish the boy from my mind. At least for now, it's been a unevil day. According to Sky, no deaths. I wonder how long we'll get until the next catastrophe drives us back together. If it's going to be tonight, I want to get some sleep. First, I cover my good ear to block out the stains of the anthem, but then I hear the tributes and stim, and sit straight up. In opinion, for the most part, the communication the tributes get from outside the arena is the nightly death troll troll toll, but consequently there it will be Trump's followed by an announcement. Usually, this will be a sale for a feast. When the field is no, scare, and the game makers will invite the players to a ban, banquet somewhere known to all like the corn Canupa Nukabia has an instrument to gather and fight. Sometimes there is a feast, and sometimes there's nothing but a loaf of stale bread for the tributes for to compete for. I wanted to go in for a food, but this could be an ideal time for to take uh, to take hold on, to take out a few completions com, companions hold on Claudius Temple Smith voice booms down for overhead, congratulating the six of us who remain, but he is not invited us to the feast. He's saying something very not confusing. It's confusing. There been a rule change in the games, a rule change that in itself is mind-bending since we don't really have any rules to speak of except don't step off your circle for 60 seconds and this unspoken rule about not eating one another under the new rule from tributes from the same district will be declared if they are the last to arrive alive. Claudius paused. If he knows we're not getting it and propose to change again, the new sinks and two tributes can win this year if they from the same district both of us can live before I stop myself. I called out Peter's name. Part 3, The Victor. And this is end of chapter 9.